Here is some tasting and information for the Paul John Peated Select Cask. So this whiskey is an Indian single malt, so quite unusual because it's obviously not a place that you'd think of where a lot of single malt is made. This whiskey distillery in particular is based on the island of Goa. So Goa, very unusual to be able to make whiskey in because it's an incredibly hot and humid climate, so it makes producing whiskey and aging whiskey quite a complex task. So their master distiller is a great guy named Michael D'Souza. We've actually had him out here before to come and do a whiskey tasting, and a fantastically curious mind and somebody who absolutely loves whiskey and is doing some really interesting things. So this one here is their expression of what essentially a peated style of whiskey, which is, predominantly comes from Ireland and Scotland, but it's done in their own way. So this is done at 55.5%, so it's going to be a little bit stronger than probably most whiskies you've come across, but let's give it a go and see how we do. So if you have a go in the nose of this, what you'll find is quite an intense kind of meaty smoke that comes off of it, but you still get like an earthiness and definite sweetness that comes through. There's faint hints of spice in there, but it's a little bit unlike a lot of peated whiskies you might have come across before, because it's just got its own little characteristic going. And I think that's where the distillery itself plays into that, because it's really hot climate. You get a lot of heat exchange, and the wood swells and contracts quite a lot, and it speeds up the aging process quite significantly. So hence there is no age statement on this, but you still definitely do get those wonderful characteristics of an aged whiskey. So if you have a go on the taste of this, it starts to get quite interesting, because you start getting like a dark sugar kind of flavor profile coming through. You definitely get that smoke as well as a nice spice, but you get kind of quite a lot of peat coming through for sure, but like a cocoa, like a dark chocolatiness coming through at the end. As well as like faint hints of marmalade towards the end of the whiskey. So really intriguing, great combination of flavors there, and I think it shows that the guys are making some really interesting whiskey out of India. So I really hope you do enjoy the Paul John Peated Select Cask.